Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to a live version of the animation workout. Today is the start of week 2. I think the way I'm going to do it, looking into the future, is the walk cycle, the take, and the character study I will do live, and then the last 2 days I will do like I've just done. Because I'm thinking of doing them. As you're hearing this now, I haven't actually made the video. But I'm thinking of condensing them down and voicing over them because they're much longer. They're much longer animations than these two. So today we start week 2, and can you see the mouse? Yeah. Good. So today we start week 2, which will be well, I think we can all guess who it's going to be. So of course, it's obviously going to be Daffy Duck. I'm kidding. But no, I'm actually serious. It's going to be Daffy Duck. Realised that I don't have the reference. We have the duck here. And personally, I like this older kind of Duck Dodgers classic one. Because that's what I grew up with. So that's what I remember. So I've got these two model sheets on the side. I've got this one and I've got this one. I also happen to own a book of this somewhere, which should be... How is it? It's in my drawer. Yes, it is. I own Animating the Looney Tunes Way by Tony Severo. So this also has some construction tips for Looney Tunes, so that should actually be really helpful for this. So, and I think it does have, yes, it does have Donald Duck himself, the king. So, we're going to, first of all, do a turnaround. Doing a turnaround, I think, is a great way to get into the character. It really allows us to know what they're thinking. Well, just know what they look like from all angles. Now, last time I did a turnaround, I just did the head, which was okay, but ultimately I think it's better if we do the full body, because I think it just allows us to have that. And I don't know if I'll remember in the live thing, this might be repeating myself, but when I was trying to export the dialogue animation in the final part of last week, it kept corrupting when it exported as an MOV, and I don't know why. I still don't know why. I did. It seemed like an OpenTunes problem, but to get around it, I exported it as an AVI and then put it as... I put it as an AVI and then put it into After Effects, just another rendering software, using the Media Encoder queue, and then put it as MP4. If I did mention that, I'm sorry for repeating myself. If I didn't, now you know. So what we're going to do is getting the head and the body, and I'm just shrinking them down because I'm never that good at drawing. I don't know if other people have this problem, but I just I draw and then I realise, oh shit, I've run out of room. So, going off of Donald Duck, not Donald Duck, Daffy Duck. Sacrilege. He's not got very long legs. Probably down to about here. I think it's just a rule, but he has got big feet. I think it's just a rule of thumb that all animated characters have short legs. Is that too long or is that too short? I think it's too long, so we're going to bring that down a bit. Going off of this model sheet to the left, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 heads tall. There should be 4 heads tall from the tip of his toes. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. think he's a little bit too tall. Or I've done his torso too fat. One of the two. So I had a real sense of accomplishment last week when I did week 1. I also realised how hard it's going to be to do this week in, week out. Because maybe it was just me, but I picked a dialogue scene that was about 10 seconds long, and I did it on 4s, but it took me ages. I think it took me about pretty much all day. So it's, it's not really a workout if it takes me all day. So we're going to have to do something about that. But I don't know what yet, and we'll see. So all we're doing right now is trying to get the profile. So the head will roughly remain the same. He's still got that beanish kind of head. Looking for more kind of profiles. And it is the same head, so that's it. But in terms of the body, he probably still has that fat butt. And then the pear shape. That. Say arms drag to here. Put some tail feathers. And then we're looking for a nice 3/4 view. Should be this, like that. Also roughly the same. Let's say the other hand comes across here. And we're sort of getting there. And then we need, but we're going to try and do the first of the choices. Now, I want to change quickly to a pencil brush because I actually enjoy the smaller texture and the finer detail. So let's look at where the hell is pencil brush. I saw that one as well, but that's not the one I wanted. So, Daffy Duck. Donald Duck. Keep thinking it. He's probably, between him and Bugs, they're probably the most well-known Looney Tunes characters. We all remember him as this kind of belligerent character that really just is kind of greedy and selfish, but at the same time very relatable, because it kind of comes off as all the things that we are, in a way. So at no point do we think like, oh, Bug, you're definitely selfish, I'd never do something like that. You always go like, yeah, I kind of see where he's coming from. And it's quite funny. Him and Bugs are the most iconic, I'd say. Whether they're pitted against each other or working together. If you don't know Daffy Duck because you're quite young or not really into it, I recommend it very strongly. It's something I grew up with as a kid, and I'd say a lot of how I see animation comes from how I saw Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny and things like that, because they're very, the philosophy, the design philosophy, and the way they approach animation was, the quicker it is, the faster it is. The quicker it is, the funnier it is. And you can see a lot of things of them trying to get that level of speed that really wasn't captured back then. It's also interesting to see how a company, an animation studio that really wasn't that big, like the Warner Brothers animation studio, like, yeah, Warner were well known, but everybody knew who Disney was back then. So to go against, just like now, to go against Disney and to win is astounding. But they did something that I thought a lot of companies should do nowadays, because I feel like, in what I was saying before, we're trying to find your niche. A lot of companies nowadays try to go against Disney in their own court. So they'll work on like princess films and things like that, or copy a lot of the older Disney things. And the problem is, for a long period of time, people just associated everything animated with Disney. So anything you did that was slightly similar was seen as, oh, it's Disney. Which is, it's great for Disney, no matter what you do, you're helping them. But it's bad for everyone else. Because you're not helping yourself. And they saw a lot of that, and the thing is, when the Looney Tunes started doing it, you could see that other companies also started doing it. You know, they weren't creating princess films and things like that. They were creating films that were very singular. I'd say probably one of the best examples is Tom and Jerry, which is also, I think it's MGM actually, Tom and Jerry. But they realized they slapstick, set a character on fire kind of mentality was not prevalent in the Disney kind of world. So they very much cashed in on that and went like, okay, well, if Disney's not going to do this slapstick style, we'll have to cash in on it big time. And that is how we've gotten to today. But nowadays you'll see films come out, animated films and things like that, and they're very short-sighted. Like, I think Klaus was a great 2D animated film, which was the story of how Christmas kind of came about, sort of thing. But the issue is that the Christmas market, and the Christmas market and the films that you've got to work against with that, it's just the same. Like you're just fighting against an uphill battle. You know, there's already so many families that are just putting on Home Alone for the 18th time. You'd want Klaus to be a success, and yeah, sure, if it did manage to reach that sort of height of those movies, it'd probably do amazingly. But it's such an insurmountable mountain to climb. Even in modern times, if you want to talk about, like, I hate it, but I think the smartest animation studio at the moment is probably Illumination. I hate it because they're the Minions people, if you don't know. And so many people will say, like, oh, it's so childish and whatnot, and things like that. But it's, for a studio with a smaller budget, to create such a recognizable, branded figure in a modern day age where everyone's constantly creating things is truly extraordinary. And to compete against giants like Disney, who can pay literally everybody on the planet to just show their films everywhere. You know, how do you compete against that? Like, by far, people remember the Minions shouting banana over who actually voices Gru. Like, I guarantee if you asked any kid who voices Gru, they wouldn't know. But if you asked them, could you quote the minions and things like that, they would easily start jumping. I mean, they just say anything, but they'd probably be right. And with that, it's quite clever. Personally, there's a lot of animated films I love. I know that Don Bluth is working on Dragon Ball the movie, which when that comes out, that would be amazing, but I don't think the audience will be there personally. Because I think it'll look fantastic, but it won't. Annoyingly, it won't be received as well as probably we'd like. Well, people would like. Well, I'd like it. I'd be like. So that's going to be really sad. I'd hope it do well. But nowadays, a lot of companies, budgets are huge nowadays. And just the amount of people watching things is just ridiculous. We've never had this many people, and we've never had this much pull and things like that. And companies are focusing more on quality than quantity, which is dumb because think about anybody who watches Netflix nowadays since the lockdown. People are always like, there's nothing on Netflix. There's nothing on Netflix. I literally put anything. Anything with a slightly interesting title and enough gravitas to hold their attention for 5 minutes. And there you go. It is a shame where we are in the world now, but, you know. What we've got to remember with these things is that, like, World War II was not even 100 years ago. Not even a century has gone by since World War II. And that's where we're at now. So the fact the world is the way it is shouldn't shock people. Things could be worse. I feel like it's a very English mindset to have that thought. Things could be worse, so don't complain. That's sort of how I've been raised. But I don't know, if everyone thinks that, then does anything really change? People want change in the world, but very similar to how the internet is nowadays, where there's just so many groups of very minor things. There's just so many people wanting the world to change in their image that the overall image of how we want the world to be gets very lost in what we think it should be. Do I want to see more 2D animated film? Yeah. But is that what the world wants? I don't know. That's the point, is that a lot of these things are people preaching about how they want things to be better, but then when you ask them about the grand plan of it, and there doesn't seem to be much follow-up. It seems to be, I thought about my section and that's it. Everything past that, don't care. But I think a lot of people only think that because they feel that the people in charge of that department, or that section, or the higher-ups of that, aren't the correct people for the job. This might be true. But could you really say you'd be better? Like politicians and things like that. Anybody says they could be a politician. Yes and no. I mean, anybody could be a politician, and if you work your ass off, I'm sure you do it. But do you really think that you'd do a better job? You'd probably do just as shit. I know I would, because if I was in charge, I'd primarily focus on the things I'm interested in, which I think anybody else selfishly would do. And then when approached about things you don't overly know, you consult to the people who are next to you, who could also be terrible. And then you're right back at square one. You're right back at, yeah. So, have you really solved it? Like, you might have a very devout interest in education. But that sort of is the same issue. I don't really like talking about politics because, from what I've learned, everybody has an opinion and your opinion's wrong. Like, I remember when my first year of really getting into politics and being interested in, like, okay, so how do we change the world and things like that. I was voting for a specific party, and then it was like big election things. Everyone was talking about who they voted for and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, I voted for these people. I was interested in this, this, and this. And I was getting people yelling at me like, "Oh, you didn't vote for the right reasons." And it's like, but I voted for the same party as you. So because I voted, but I wasn't doing it 100% what you're thinking of doing it, it's wrong all of a sudden. Should that really be the case? Maybe? I don't know. So I don't overly know what people want in politics. Like, I think people want a politician. They want to vote for a politician who does good. I think a lot of the time so they can boost their own ego. Like, oh yeah, I voted for them. And it's sort of like buyer's remorse, but for a person. Because people do vote for. And there's a lot of pride in it. Like, oh, well, I voted for them, and I thought this was the thing, and things like that. So can you just accept that, like, you voted for him, thinking it was this, and then you were wrong? I'm not going to bring it Hitler, because I feel like every argument about politics always ends in Hitler. I don't know why. I always wonder if he'll be remembered in 100 years or so. Like, because we remember him now and we go, like, he's the figurehead of people, things like that. But, before him, I'm pretty sure people were saying, like, this is Attila the Hun guy. Fucking hell, he's crazy. So, will he remain? Mm-mm. You can have it, more, don't you? And that's kind of weird. I got told that an interest in history, for a lot of people, comes with age. So, you'll find a lot of older people, once you reach a certain, well, the older you get, the more interest you have in things like World War II and history, which is very interesting. And I probably think it's true, to be honest. So, this might be a bit of a long one, because same reasons for last time, in that, I'm doing a much more detailed and longer. 'Cause, same reasons for last time, in that, I'm doing a much more detailed and longer. 'Cause, same reasons for last time, in that, I'm doing a much more detailed and longer. 'Cause, same reasons for last time, in that, I'm doing a much more detailed and longer. 'Cause, same reasons for last time, in that, I'm doing a much more detailed and longer. version. Basically, I'm going to get to the point where I do the front, back. Yeah, basically, this is the last frame, and then that'll be the end of episode 1. So, we'll do that. I don't have anything on the back of his head, do we? Oh, probably his beak. Yes. Just wrap around his face. And probably like a bit in the top. So this is a lot more detailed than what I did with the Mickey Mouse. The reason is because I didn't actually know how this workout would go. And to be honest, we're only on week 2, so I still don't really know how this is going to work out. But I am enjoying it. And I think that's the main thing. I'm not going to do that fake reveal thing again for next week. It'll just be the character battle. It was a one-time. That's the thing. If I kept doing it every week, it'd get a bit, boring. So I've got this animating one of the Looney Tunes Way book. I've got it open at this page 15 if anyone's interested, where it's talking about the arms and the skeletal system. So it talks about the arms quite well, and it says that for their characters they had a lot of taper and curved arcs. So for example, if I did an arm like this, it looks shit. If I did an arm like this, it looks better. Which is, it's something I already know, but there's a lot of principles in animation specifically that it helps to get friendly reminders on. But these are little things that really I should be looking out for in the model sheet. But you never really think about it. Sometimes also the model sheets are just... they are just that, the model sheets, the how an artist draws it, so it's best to take inspiration. For example, I found one and it's got more kind of those arms. You don't really see the taper to much. So, it is good, but I'm trying to keep I'm trying to add a bit of my own. So that is our Daffy Duck. Yes. That is our Daffy Duck. So we're going to zoom out real quick and have a glance over him. So, I don't know if you can see too well. Screen's frozen again. So I'll try and get it right in the middle. So, this is our profile. If I cleaned it up, it would probably look pretty good. Depending on how long this episode is, should we clean up one frame? It's 29 minutes. Is anybody else curious? You know what, let's do it. I'm really curious. Okay, so let's get a nice pen. Yeah, let's get a nice pen. Put it very small, I don't know why the hell it's on size 50. Rubber. We're on rubber mode, so not that great. I want a ink with a variable ink. So what it means is it sets a maximum size it's going to be and a minimum size it's going to be. Or just one that is more pen pressure based. Because a lot of these seem to be very flat. See, I touch hard and I touch soft, but I don't seem to get much variation. Like this brush seems to be. Let's have a look at this. That's good. That's what we want. Cool. Alright, we're going to do one quick one. Going in and getting some real detail of it. I mean, looking at it, looks pretty Daffy Duck. We'll lower the opacity real quick, because it's, well, it's a little hard to see. The thing is, this might look terrible by the end of this, but at least we'll know. And if it looks bad, we'll know we've done something wrong. If it looks good, we'll know we've done something right. Either way, we'll learn. I'm not good at following lines though. Sometimes it's better to pull than push the line. What I mean by that is pulling and then that's pushing. That's how you do your pen. So if you're struggling one way, try another way. Might help. So I don't overly know how this will look. I want to say it's going to look pretty good. So with this said, it doesn't look that good, does it? Why doesn't it look good? I made his head too, like, pin-headed. Seems like I have over here. That could work. More of a crown. I don't look too bad. So we're going for a nice curve. If I'm interested, there's 3 types of lines in the world. There's straight curve and French curve, which is just 2 curves. So there's straight, curve, and French curve, which is an S. And everything kind of works off of that, apparently. I got told, I don't remember where it's from, but I got told there's no such thing as a straight line in the world. And I told my boss, when I was a builder at the time, and he just, like, every single chance, he would he'd do that. Like, to be honest, I used to do building, and I'd always talk about animation things to my boss and just anyone who'd listen. And I don't care if they made fun of me, because it's something I like. And to be honest, I know that if people make fun of you about something, it means that they have listened to you and they put enough thought in it to actually come up with a joke for it. Because they couldn't come up with a joke if they didn't listen to me. But yeah, every single time I'd use an X-Acto knife, I'd cut something. And I am awful at cutting things. I cannot do straight lines. So I would, I'd cut something terrible, and then you just go, don't worry, no straight line. There's no such thing as a straight line. Those are the days. I did buck up the leg a bit. So let's try and put one. The problem with doing the long, dragging on, like mess up, all goes. So, there's Daffy Duck. I'll say, compared to my Mickey Mouse, that is much better. I don't know if it's because I've decided to get more detail in it or whatnot, but that's pretty damn good for me. Well, at least I'm happy with it. I'm going to delete it. Delete this frame anyway. No, actually, I'll just hide it. No one can see it. But that is our turnaround. We can add another frame if we want. Just the other way around. So the nice thing about a lot of these characters I've done is they're, well, simple is not the word, but they're, oh, here's a little trick. Now last time I did this, I think it's horizontal I need. Minus 100. Right. So now if I do this, we also might want to change the position. Build it back. No, it's bothering me. So we'll put it at 8, so it's 4 frames a second, and no, it does look like Daffy Duck, I will have to say. So I'm quite happy with it. Okay, well, that has been the character turnaround. In the next episode, I'm going to do either poses or expressions, haven't quite decided. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one.